Nick left field. The junior's listed at 240 pounds. He was able to knock back, looked like Jake Haven that time. Big gain down to the 40-yard line.
1st and 10. Werling this time trying to keep it again. He gets through one tackler right at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to get himself about 4 yards on this carry, and it'll bring up 2nd down and manageable as, I mean, like you said to start the game, it's the last game of the year. He's going to carry as many times as possible to get him a state championship.
And especially when the head coach is your father as well. You're going to take matters into your own hands. This is a guy that I'm sure that you're talking at the dinner table, car rides, the whole 9 yards. You're living, eating, breathing football during this playoff run. So you want to go down with the ship or ride high with the guy that got you here.
He's going to keep it again. Gets a hold of the left side, breaks one tackler, gets down to the 25, and now he's off and running. Gets 9 yards on that, and it's going to be another Heffelfinger meets 1st down.
Yeah, he's approaching 300 carries now for the season. Tough kid, too, in between the tackles. Not a lot's going to go to the perimeter in the rushing attack here today. It's going to, hopefully, if you're a St. Henry fan, open things up eventually with the jet sweeps or when you try to catch them off guard. But that running attack with the quarterback, a lot of it's going to be the A and the B gaps.
Averaging 126.6 yards per game. Running back in the backfield, Owen Rao. It's going to be a handoff. Actually, it's Will Speck. Speck, right side. Breaks a tackle, and he's going to go into the end zone. Broke 2 tackles off the right side, and it will be St. Henry that strikes first. 26-yard touchdown run.
That was impressive, too. It looked like a couple of Falcons were going to have an opportunity to get to him, but the speed, once he got to the perimeter, the burner man, he threw that thing into 3rd gear, took off towards the corner, nobody able to catch him, and the Falcons now going to have to try to play themselves out of a mini hole. Excellent running and vision that time by the sophomore back, and the Falcons look like they've jumped into the neutral zone.
Yeah.
They have, so an opportunity if St. Henry wants to throw the offense back out there, they're gonna.
Yeah, got one of the linemen from Hillsdale to jump on the fake count, and now they will try to go for 2 and make this an 8-0 game. So a big opportunity to break out here on a second possession. The St. Henry run game was just really, really solid. Speck, the second running back on this team, 556 yards coming into this. Only 2 touchdowns, but he got that one. It's going to be a keeper left side, and an easy 2 points there will be taken. I mean, that was way too easy.
Werling's been having his way so far in the rushing attack. 6 carries, 38 yards. That's better than 6 yards per clip, Travis. And then Will Speck with the 1 touch, able to turn it into a 26-yard touchdown. We figured this thing would be back and forth, but the first punch thrown and landed by St. Henry.
We'll take a quick break, see if the Falcons can answer after this.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Back here, Hall of Fame Stadium, St. Henry. First to score here today, Speck on the 26-yard touchdown run, 2-point conversion. Good. It is 8-0. Travis Berardi back here with Brian Skaronski as the Falcons take the kick. It's to the up back, and this is going to be taken out to about the 37-yard line. I've seen this a lot over this weekend, Brian, where they're not kicking it deep. They're kicking it to these up backs because if you do kick it deep like we saw in the Glenville-Shelby game, it may hurt.
Special teams, that third factor, can become the biggest by the end of the day. It just seems to hurt you more anytime there's a big play that happens on the opposite end. And quite the opposite. If it happens on your side of things, yes, it can really ignite a fuse for you to have a big momentum swing. We'll see if the Falcons are able to match what St. Henry has. And again, they're showing a lot of guys up in the box.
5 wide. It's going to be a quick hitter left side. Hayden McFadden catches it, gets across the 40, gets up to about the 42-yard line. Give him about 6 yards, though. It'll be second down and a nice first down conversion there for the Falcons to get ahead of the sticks.
That's what you need from your all-time playmaker in the passing game. Hayden McFadden, an opportunity with a huge game to go over 1,000 yards again this year. But he averages better than 70 per contest. I like that play. Kael Lewis, quick hitter to the outside, and eventually that opens things up for the deep shots that we know inevitably the Falcons are going to try to hit.
Second down and about 5. Quick hitter again right side. It's going to be caught, bobbled though, and that kept Aiden Salyer from moving ahead. That bobble hurting the Falcons that time as he's not able to get any movement, maybe about a half yard. It's going to be third down and medium.
Definitely the 3 opportunities to catch it. Kept his eyes on the football instead of looking downfield, and it cost him. Nice conversion there by the secondary to come up and make the stop. Tate Bachman there involved, and it's going to be another third down here for the Falcons. I think you can probably expect this one to be in the hands of Kael Lewis.
Sloan will be behind him in the backfield. 3 wide to the left, 1 to the right. Lewis takes the snap, fakes the bubble screen, looking ahead. He's going to run it himself across the 45, across midfield. It's a first down. Kael Lewis, he's one that can run as well. He gets 8 yards, and the Falcons get a Heffelfinger meets first down and 10 inside St. Henry territory.
That's the evolution of the junior. He's over 350 rushing yards this season, something that we didn't see from him a ton last year. Just having that feeling, that poise. The Manning passing camp during the summer certainly, I think, paid off for him. Just having that internal clock in his head. He had it right there. Great scramble, and now they're into St. Henry territory.
3,040 rushing yards for the Falcons coming into this game. First and 10 from the St. Henry 49. 2 wide to the left. Man in motion. Moving back to the left. And it's going to be a pitch to Owen Sloan far side. Tries to get ahead, but he's going to get taken down in the backfield by Drew Langenkamp and Harrison Schweiderman.
4-yard loss here for the Falcons. They tried to hit the edge. Knox Lewis hang on as long as he could there, trying to take on the defensive end. But a slow developing play and the maneuverability of these linebackers. You can't take too much time trying to get a run going to the perimeter here if you're Hillsdale, because you see just the extreme speed that they have at that second level. Charlie Werling's involved in that group along with Langenkamp and company, and it sets up a second and long. Falcons behind the sticks.
4 wide, again, for Lewis. Fakes the handoff. He's looking left. It's a one-on-one with McFadden. He lobs it up there. McFadden gets the catch inside the 20, down to the 15, dragging his defender down to the 6-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Hayden McFadden just mossed a defender and then drug him about 15 yards. First and goal, Falcons.
Wasn't quite a moss, but what he was able to do is just wait on the ball. He moved him off with his left arm, Schweiderman, and he made the play 100%. Give Kael Lewis a nod because he gave his career-leading wide receiver an opportunity, but that's just Hayden McFadden understanding how to use his body, and he's got him set up now at the 7-yard line.
Since they were listening and watching, I was trying to give him a little thing. But St. Henry fans are kind of booing right now. I didn't see enough of an extension of the arms for it to be a push-off. It was fighting back and forth, and it sets up first and goal from the 7. Coach Klein won't have to run another play, though. They're going to take this down to the end of the quarter, but the Falcons, a huge answer here after the score from St. Henry, facing a second down and long, and you see them right there as we will finish first quarter action. We have played one here in the Division 7 state championship. St. Henry struck first, but the Falcons trying to answer here after the break.
Searching for stationery that feels personal? Make it truly inspired From custom wedding invitations and greeting cards to business stationery and gifts, every design from Truly Inspired Paper Company is handcrafted in Ohio. Whether you're celebrating a milestone, saying thanks, or sharing everyday joy, we make it easy to create something beautiful and memorable. Visit trulyinspiredpaperco.com and make every message truly inspired.
Back here as they did the after-quarter race, I believe one cheerleader from Hillsdale, one cheerleader from St. Henry, and guess who won? The Falcon. Caw-caw! Caw-caw! Taking it is Lily McCrory, softball star. We'll see her on the OH report here coming up in a couple of months. But Lily, her speed, that's why she's the leadoff for the Lady Falcons softball squad. And we've seen some speed here today. St. Henry striking first. But the Falcons, a 47-yard Kael Lewis to Hayden McFadden completion has them set up first and goal from the 7. Just a perfect answer for Hillsdale. We did not see that a year ago, but like we said, this is a completely different squad.
100%. Last year, they were just overwhelmed, just one quarter in, and then by the second quarter, they were pretty much just playing to get out of the building. And no disrespect for the coaches, but I think that that's what everybody that tuned into that game saw, is that it was pretty much just, I feel like we're overmatched. That's not the case here today. Obviously, St. Henry is going to be an awesome program, out of the MAC, runner-up in the conference, and able to slay the dragon, as you said, knock off the team that had the longest winning streak ever in football here in the state of Ohio. So I feel like the Falcons came into this game with a much different mindset, different mentality, and especially with these 15 seniors, Owen Sloan, Hayden McFadden right at the front of the bus for that. They are going to will this team into this football game. It all starts, though, with capitalizing here. Got to get some points.
Start of the second quarter here from Hall of Fame Stadium. First and goal, Hillsdale from the 7. Too wide to the left short side. It's going to be a handoff Sloan. Sloan cuts back, leans, trying to get to the 5-yard line. Maybe got a yard out of it. He does. It'll be second and goal from the 6.
Eventually, for Hillsdale to have success today, they're going to have to run in between the tackles with that rushing attack. You can't flip it side to side. We've seen the team speed at the linebacker core so far here for St. Henry, so I think that's a wise move here for the Falcons coaching staff to try to attack up the middle.
Too wide to the right. Hayden McFadden alone to the left. Sidecar right is Owen Sloan for Lewis. Lewis takes the snap. He's going to roll off to the right. Gets a block from Sloan. Looking to throw. He throws it to the end zone, and it's going to be over the head of his intended receiver. That's Knox Lewis, and he had him, I think, open a little bit earlier, but just didn't throw it. And it'll be third and goal from the 6.
That's a missed opportunity. That was an excellent release route off of that tight end spot over on the right side. They rolled the play there, and that was the first option. He had him. I'm not sure exactly why Kael felt that he couldn't deliver it. Double coverage earlier, the first throw to Knox Lewis, and he was able to make the catch. So he just took his mind off of the moment there for a second, and it might have cost him. Big third down coming up here for the Falcons.
It'll be third and goal from the 6. 2 wide receivers to the right, and we're going to get a timeout as Trevor Klein will take a timeout. Welcome back here inside the booth. Travis Berardi, Brian Skoronsky. Want to thank everybody for listening in and watching a little bit here today, but this is a big possession for Hillsdale. St. Henry out there scoring on their second drive, but right back at you come the Falcons. You got to think this is 2-down territory from here. You can't get field goals in a state championship game if you're down, especially early on.
And no A.J. Brown as well, so not somebody that you know for a fact you can rely on to get you the 3 points. So I certainly feel like this is 2-down territory, and I compliment the coaching staff understanding the magnitude here of this third down. Want to get something designed, and I'm sure that they've got 4 to 5 plays over there on that little play call sheet that they know when they're down here in the red area have been effective, and got to put out your best stuff here early to try to keep up with the Joneses now that you're trailing by 8.
Yeah, this is a big play coming out here. 11:18 left in the half. If they can get back here, get the score. This will be their first score in a state championship. We're not going to talk about that, though. But if you can do it against a team like St. Henry, it gives you so much momentum. And also, this drive, it's going longer than the last one. The defense is going to be very, very healthy, very energized when we get back out there, especially if they can score. 2 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Sloan sidecar right to Kael Lewis. 3rd and goal from the 6. Man in motion, that's Knox Lewis. Kael's going to roll to his right. He's looking. He's going to throw it to the end zone. It is going to be knocked out of bounds. He was intended for Knox Lewis. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, Brock Bauer in the vicinity as well. That time, much better defended. That was very similar play call to what we saw on the 2nd down play. And it looks like Hillsdale's going to go for points here. They want to get on the board for the first time here in Canton. And trailing by 8. Don't hate it.
Yeah. That just might as well. After just saying you can't get just a field goal here. But, hey, it is early on. So Brock Bauer, who is in for A.J. Brown. This is pretty much an extra point for him, though. We'll see if they can get it. And we're going to have to get another timeout by Hillsdale as the clock was running down. So the Falcons are going to have to burn their 2nd timeout of the half here. And now, do you think about it or you go back with the field goal?
I think that's got to be a part of the conversation. When you're at the 6-yard line, you got a plethora of playmakers out there, some big weapons. So I'm sure that that's a discussion right now that maybe Kael Lewis is trying to plead his case of, Coach, I think that I like this particular look, or I've seen this or that. And at these points in the games, during these timeouts, you want to lean a little bit on the players. You've got a great look, of course, if you're the coaching staff of the Falcons, which is right to our left. However, when you're out there actually experiencing it, perhaps Hayden McFadden, Brock Bauer, the quarterback Lewis, maybe somebody has seen something that they're going to mention here going into this 4th down play, as it does appear that they're changing their mind and they're going to roll the dice. Nope,
they're going to go for the field goal.
They got the T coming back out.
So we'll see if Bauer can knock it through. Bauer was a soccer player before playing football, so we'll see if he can just knock this down Main Street. Snap is down, kick is away, and it is right down Main Street, and the Falcons are on the board. 8-3 is the score, so hey, you get points at least. That's something you weren't able to do last year. You get a little bit of momentum. You're showing that you can drive against St. Henry, and we'll see if the defense can pick things up. So they're putting up on Spectrum right now, first score in a championship game. Yeah, why did you have to show that, guys? Come on now.
Well, just let the facts speak for themselves. Yeah. Brock Bauer, congratulations, getting them on the board. That's his first career field goal attempt. He's kicked a bunch of PATs so far this season, has not actually lined up and kicked a field goal, so he's now 1 for 1. Perfect for his career, and it comes on the biggest stage. And I think that's a nice answer, of course, here for Hillsdale. Matching with 3 points here after St. Henry was able to take it down the field, stopping you on 4th down. So a good sign here for the Falcons to keep pace, get some points, and utilize the offense. And Hayden McFadden with that big catch of 47 yards. That's something that I think that you can go back to on a few more occasions here this afternoon.
11:07 left here in the half. Falcons only trail now by 5, 8-3. McFadden ready to kick it away, and he will boot it. It's going to be taken at the 20-yard line. That is Braden Heath. Crossing left side, and he's not going to get much. He's going to get out to the 24, and that is where St. Henry will start. 1st and 10, their worst starting position here of the game so far. And we do have a man down here for St. Henry. It'll be an official's timeout. We will take a timeout as well. 11 minutes exactly left in the half. It's 8-3 in favor of St. Henry.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
injured player quickly off the field, was just a little bit of a stinger, and we're back to action. 1st and 10 St. Henry from their own 30-yard line. Werling alone in the backfield, 2 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Man in motion, that's Heath. He's going to fake the sweep to him. He has a lot of room across the 40. One man to beat. 45, 40, 30, 20. He's going to go to the end zone. Touchdown, St. Henry. One play, 70 yards.
It's going to put Werling over 100 now for the game. Just an excellent fake, froze the linebackers, everybody going with the ball carrier that they were anticipating. Instead, back to the right side, and the speed, the foot race there with the freshman Porter Borman. He wins it, outpacing him into the end zone, the senior with the biggest play so far here in this state final.
What a backbreaker early on there after getting points on the board. As they will go for the extra point this time. Snap is down, kick is away, and it is, well, we got a flag.
Another
encroachment, yeah.
So a chance here to get 16 points. I think St. Henry will likely send the offense back out there. They have the option, though, to take the point.
And they are going to go for it. So a chance to make this a 13-point game. I mean, that was great blocking. He had 2 blockers, Werling did, come off that right side and just close things down, and he let his speed do the rest. Werling now will try to get the 2-point conversion. Alone in the backfield, bunch, full house, and he is going to run it in. Got it. 16-3. St. Henry leading by 13 with 10:50 left in the half. We'll be back.
Searching for stationery that feels personal? Make it truly inspired. From custom wedding invitations and greeting cards to business stationery and gifts, every design from Truly Inspired Paper Company is handcrafted in Ohio. Whether you're celebrating a milestone, saying thanks, or sharing everyday joy, we make it easy to create something beautiful and memorable. Visit trulyinspiredpaperco.com and make every message truly inspired.
There he is, the speedster, Werling, over 100 yards already on the day. 7 carries, 108, and a touchdown after the 70-yard strike by his feet to make it 16-3. Travis Berardi back here, Brian Skoronsky. Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium here in Canton, Ohio, the Division VII state championship game. Hillsdale. Last 3 possessions have been scoring plays for both teams, as the running touchdown from 26 yards for St. Henry. Hillsdale answered with a field goal, and then Werling's big run. Falcons take it at the 15, up to the 20, up to the 25 is Owen Sloan. And that is where the Falcons will start at the 26, 1st down and 10. And again, got to answer.
Felt like the last drive was important, and for Hillsdale coming away with 3 points, not bad. Now it really does feel like with St. Henry opening things up, they're changing the line of scrimmage. We saw in the 2-point conversion as well. The line of scrimmage was supposed to be the 1-yard line. About a half second after the snap, everybody was in the end zone or beyond. So right now, it's the big fellas of the Redskins that are kind of putting their index finger here on this game. We'll see if Owen Sloan can answer here with the 1st down run. Not bad.
And he'll get 5 yards out of it, right up the gut. And that is more what we've seen from the Hillsdale Falcons here this season, about 4 or 5 yards per carry they have. So it'll set up a 2nd down and 5 from their own 31-yard line. Hillsdale on the season averaging 7.4 yards per rush on the season, so that's more of what we've been used to seeing from the Falcons. They're going to go 5 wide now this time, 3 wide to the left, 2 to the right for Kael Lewis alone in the backfield. 10-10 left in the half. He's going to look for the quick hitter. He fakes it, and he's going to run it himself. Instead, he's going to get taken down. Big number 63, Nick Leffeld, right there, shed his block, and it's going to be a loss of 4. Now they're behind the sticks, 3rd and 9.
I can't imagine that that was the actual play call. It looked like it was supposed to be a quick hitter. The receiver did not make eye contact there with Kael Lewis, so a busted play, and it cost him, but that was more Nick Leftfield, the junior, just winning his battle one-on-one right there, because Lewis had a bit of space to the right side to take off, but that space eliminated almost immediately by the 240-pound junior.
Werling's 70-yard touchdown run, the longest touchdown run in D7 championship history. Lewis going back to pass, rushed, and he just throws it away. It'll be 4th down, and who was on the coverage of him? Charlie Werling got into the backfield.
And it looks like this might be intentional grounding as well. The referees are talking about it.
And
never escaped the pocket. He just threw it.
I guess they said that there was a receiver. Nope, there it is. Finally, they call it. And that's going to be a loss and down nonetheless, but it'll be like a sack. We're looking at the replay right now on the Jumbotron. And, yeah, fake the handoff, and Werling just right in on him. Intentional grounding. The ball will be placed at the 20-yard line, and that is where the Falcons will have to punt.
And that was a bit of panic there from Kael Lewis. We haven't seen that much from him during this tournament run. Had a little bit of pressure. Werling came flying out of the picture, though. So had he been able to just maybe a pump fake, sidestep, an opportunity to buy some time, instead it goes down basically, like you said, as a sack. I mean, this is a huge loss. It's going to be...
Yeah, 5 yards as well, so it's down to the 14. So this will be... They're going to need a good kick out of this. Lewis does boot it. It's going to be taken at the 45. One man missed by Jack Hulsman, but then swarmed by Hillsdale. He won't get any return. However, St. Henry will start in Hillsdale territory at the 45, 1st and 10 with 9:06 left in the half. Falcons do get the ball out of the half, but you got to get a stop here first.
Gut check time right now here defensively, and specifically I'm talking to the guys up front now for the Falcons. Jake Haven's been getting pushed around a little bit, as has Karsten Stevens, who had an electric state semifinal game against McDonald. A couple of sacks there for the sophomore, as we're in a 2-minute media timeout right now, Travis. But for Hillsdale, this is probably the most important possession of the game. It's early on in this thing, but if St. Henry is able to just win at the point of attack, march down the field one more time, you start losing a bit of your self-confidence and identity out there. So defensively right now for the Falcons, this is huge for them to try to at least force some type of a 3rd and long, 4th down situation. Back-to-back carries have gone for touchdowns for the Redskins. Get some of your mojo back here if you're the Hillsdale wrecking crew up front.
Yeah, and you're seeing now St. Henry bringing a little bit more pressure on Lewis as well, because they trust their corners, kind of like what we saw at Glenville against Shelby. They're able to stack the box up, so you're getting pressure on the quarterback if it's a pass, or you're stopping Owen Sloan on the run. This is some adjustments that need to be made by Hillsdale, especially with their blocking scheme up front, if they want to try and keep that out, or maybe they're trying to roll out Lewis early on, maybe just quick 2-step drop, slants, pop passes, screens, things like that. But they have to get St. Henry off guard. They have to get them off their heels, because right now they're playing their defense and they're playing their pace.
And for Hillsdale right now, defense is where you really need to turn all of your focus. So like I was saying, defensively up front, they're packing the box. They're having at least 6 or 7 guys that are up there right now. You cannot allow the line of scrimmage to just change immediately. Right now the Redskins are getting a little bit quicker off of the football, and it's led them to the back-to-back touchdowns here. So Falcons, got to step up right here. Got to show your guts. And for these seniors specifically, come up and make some plays. This is your last opportunity to leave a legacy, and there's a lot of time still to be played here. But if you fall behind by 3 scores early in this game, like I said, these are high school kids, and even for adults, man, you start getting some of that doubt that creeps in, and it's like deja vu from what you experienced a year ago. They're on the board, so they checked the first box. I think that was big for them, but now you got to settle down a bit defensively, come up, make some plays. You cannot just let Werling take off and kill you like he did untouched on that 70-yard touchdown run.
You're going to have to force him to pass. Maybe stack the box up there and trust your receivers. You saw that on the first possession. He wasn't able to complete a couple passes. He overthrew his receivers, and it allowed the Falcons to get the ball back in their territory. But about ready to get back to action here. Out of the TV timeout, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 45. 4 wide receivers for Werling. Also has a running back to the right side. That is Speck. 9:06 left in the half. 13-point St. Henry lead. Man in motion. That's Heath from right to left. He'll stop. It's going to hand off to Speck. Up the middle. He's going to get a nice 7-yard gain there on first down as the linebacking core of Hillsdale had to race up and tackle him before the sticks.
We saw the freshman, too, Borman, come up and get involved. A nice cut by Speck to get around him for a quality first down run. But there was a gap. There was a big hole, again, to run through, about the size of a small, compact car right there. So for Hillsdale, again, it's about winning up front. They got to have some more pride up there here at this point in the game. We'll see if they can win a couple battles.
2nd and 3. It'll be a little screen pass right side to Speck. Bobbles it, makes the catch. Across the 35, down to the 30, down to the 28-yard line. It's a Heffelfinger meets first down for St. Henry. And again, they're on the move.
Good job of keeping Hillsdale off balance, too. It looked like they were going to be setting up for a run to the right side, a quick hitter, and that's exactly what has carried this St. Henry offense. Obviously, you're keeping your eyes on Werling. You're expecting him to take off. It was clean delivery. Speck able to eventually bring it in after a quick mishandle, and it's a nice play getting him inside of the 30-yard line and a fresh set, new first down on the way here for the Skins.
1st and 10 from the Hillsdale 28. They're going to go 3 wide to the left. Werling alone in the backfield. Takes the snap. He's going to run right up the middle, and he's going to get met, but still drag some defenders along after a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6, as in on the tackle there was Brady Heller.
That's what Brady Heller does best. Good read and reaction. To your point, though, Werling able to garner about 2, maybe 2.5 more yards there after the first point of contact. So it's another nice first down play here. And if you can just get 4 yards per run, every offensive coordinator will tell you that they'd be very happy with that. And St. Henry so far here today, Speck averaging 16.5 per clip, Werling 14 yards per carry.
2nd and 6. Speck in motion left. Werling's going to keep it again off the left side. He's going to get met right at the line of scrimmage. 3 Falcons in there to hit him. Big number 77, Garrett Furr, one of them, alongside Knox Lewis and company, and it's going to be 3rd down and medium.
One of the best defensive plays that we've seen so far. Karsten Stevens coming up, and he filled the hole nicely. Gang tackle right there for Hillsdale. I'd like to see, though, after plays, a bit more spark and energy on the side here defensively for the Falcons. It's a lot different playing defense and offense, of course, where you just need that high energy and the motor going. It looks like right now that Knox Lewis is trying to be that guy for him. See what they can do here on a big 3rd down, packed backfield.
St. Henry quickly to the line. Man in motion, Jack Holzman. They fake that sweep. They give it to Werling. Werling keeps it across the 15, the 10, to 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. St. Henry again. Faked the sweep, took it up the middle, big hole, and he is into the end zone, and it is trouble time here for the Falcons.
Just beautiful patience on the run as well. Had to allow things to develop a bit once he got through the initial line. Weaved in and out of traffic a little bit. Nobody really laid a hand on him. Werling's just got exceptional vision in the running attack. 2nd time he's entered the end zone so far. Huge day on the way. 10 carries, $136.
Extra point up, extra point good, and it's a 20-point lead for St. Henry. Hillsdale needs an answer here before the half. We'll see if they can do it after the break.
At Stoops Painting, we pride ourselves on quality work and attention to detail. We handle interior and exterior projects and always go the extra mile to ensure satisfaction. Call or text Garrett Stoops at 419-606-9015 for a free consultation or quote. That's 419-606-9015.
So, the Falcons needing an answer here trailing by 20 points, 23-3. Travis Berardi back here with Brian Skoronsky as the Falcons awaiting the kick, and it is away. It's going to be taken by Sloan at the 15, gets across the 20, up to the 25, to the 27, and that is where they will start. First down and 10, and it's been the Werling show so far for St. Henry on both sides of the ball, forcing the intentional grounding on the defensive side, and then 2 rushing touchdowns for him as well.
I've just got this anticipation that Hillsdale's going to rise to the challenge here on the offensive side of things. They've been great defensively all season long, probably the underrated group so far, but they're off to a bit of a sluggish start, of course, with St. Henry scoring on each of their last few drives. So for the Falcons, understanding that, it feels like this is a time where the offense has to step up if you really want to be involved in this game.
First and 10, it's going to be a quick hitter left side. It's going to be caught across the 30, 35, across to the 40, and out of bounds is going to be Davis Radcliffe for a Heffelfinger meets first down, and that is exactly what you need for the Falcons, a big pop play on first down and 10.
Radcliffe had a huge catch last week. He's been sparsely used within the offense. That's just his 5th catch of the year. He's up over 100 yards, though, now, and when you don't see a guy make a lot of plays on film, it's tough to key on him. We saw the Falcons do it in the state semifinal. Mix things up here with a couple of sophomores. Great play right there to start off this drive.
First and 10 now at the Hillsdale 40. Lewis, quick hitter again to him. He's going to go across the 40, up to the 45, out of bounds, but a good first down play. They're going to give him 5. It's 2nd and 5.
It's almost just an extension of the run game right there. Deja vu, same play set up, except for this time it was to the short side of the field, so not quite as much wiggle room to the outside, but love seeing Davis Radcliffe. He's got a little bit of bounce in his step right now, utilized on back-to-back plays, and that, once you show that a couple of times, starts to maybe make things easier for guys like McFadden.
Midway point of quarter 2, 23-3 St. Henry. Hillsdale trying to get a drive together. 3 wide receivers for Lewis. It's going to be a handoff to Sloan. Sloan gets right back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. It'll be 3rd down, in this defensive line once again by St. Henry up for the task.
Feels like the passing attack might have to be what carries the day offensively here for the Falcons. And that doesn't mean that you have to throw it over the middle, that you have to take deep bombs. We saw the last 2 little bubble screens. They have been effective. And on this 3rd down play with no running room, probably an opportunity to try to do something very similar. Just a basic play call. Get into the hands of one of your playmakers on a quick hitter and try to extend this drive.
2 wide to the left, 1 to the right for Lewis. Man in motion, that's Knox. It's going to be a handoff Sloan. Sloan, full head of speed. He's going to get up to the 49-yard line, and it's going to be 4th down and 1.
I don't think there's any conversation that has to happen on the sideline now, Travis, when you're trailing by 20 points. The offense has to stay out there, and I think that's why they ran Owen Sloan there with the anticipation that, hey, we've got 2 downs to go out here and get 5 yards, guys, and that was a great start. Actually, 4.5, pretty good spot for him.
So it'll be 4th and 1 at the 49. Falcons trailing by 20, need a score here. They get the ball out of the half. 3 wide receivers to the left. Owen Sloan in the backfield. Can the Falcons convert on 4th and 1? It's going to be a quick hitter left side. Bauer tries to break a tackle, tries to get to the 50. He will not. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Bubble screen did not work.
And I love the press coverage there by St. Henry coming up to the line of scrimmage. They stack the box as well. 7 guys waiting for Owen Sloan potentially. So that was just defended as well as it possibly could be. And again, they come to the short side of the field there, Travis. So there was not very many places for Brock Bauer to try to escape. Hit basically at the line of scrimmage. He fought, claw, dug down into the turf, did everything he could to try to pick up that 1 yard. But the Redskins, they were prepared for it. That was probably the perfect defensive play call, and it gets the offense right back on the field here on the plus side.
And that's where you could have maybe gone downfield with it too, because they brought everybody. 1st and 10 for Werling now at midfield. Looking for the pop pass left side. He throws it short of his defender. It's incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, a little bit undercooked right there down at the toes of Langenkamp, who's had a couple of nice touches so far already today. Typically, he's more of a runner with over 52 carries, but they've targeted him a couple of times so far here in the early portion of this contest.
4:28 left here in the half. 2nd and 10 from the Hillsdale 48. St. Henry, after their first possession, have scored on each of their last 4. Or 3, I should say. 2 backs in the backfield for Werling. He's going to hand it off to Langenkamp. Langenkamp gets through a bit of a hole. He's going to get positive yardage. It's going to be 3rd down and a long 4. 6 on the game.
First carry today for Langenkamp. Over 300 yards rushing on the season. And everybody who touches the football in this offense out of the backfield averaging better than 5 yards per carry with the exception of one guy. And that just tells you that the guys up front, they are winning at the line of scrimmage. They're well disciplined and they've got great structure. 3rd down here for the Falcons defense. Got to try to force them into a 4th down situation.
4 wide for Werling, and we're going to get a penalty, and this is going to help out the Falcons. It's going to be a false start. It'll back them up. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
One of the few breaks that we've seen so far early in this competition for Hillsdale to make it a 3rd down and long, and we've not seen St. Henry face a 3rd down and long so far here early on in this game.
The closest one was when they were near the red zone. It was about a 3rd and 6, and then the 4th down pass was incomplete. So big 3rd down here for the Falcon defense as the clock comes up on 3:30 left in the half. Got to get a stop here and a chance to get you back on the board. Werling with Langenkamp, sidecar left. Man in motion, that's Heath. It's going to be a fake handoff. He's rolling to his left, looking to throw. Man, wide open, caught at the 35 and taken out of bounds is Landon Schwartz. He was wide open, and it's a 1st down.
That's just excellent play design, and this is your top receiving threat, getting a step on the competition. So much eye candy. You're thinking Werling's going to take off. They fake the counterattack. He's got the RPO option to the outside. That's exactly what you dream of if you're a wide receiver playing in this offense, to get that much separation because everybody's got to focus on the running attack. You've been getting gashed if you're Hillsdale, so tough to fault them for allowing that one to be open. There was plenty of different options available there for the Skins.
1st and 10 from the Falcons 35. Werling looking for the quick hitter. It's deflected and almost intercepted. Hand up by Knox Lewis. Almost got the pick. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Hillsdale knows that they're going to have a couple of opportunities during this game against a quarterback that's thrown an average of an interception per game. That was one right there that you really needed. Lewis able to get the left hand on it, but it falls harmlessly to the turf. So that's a bit of a break here, actually, for the Redskins that did not get intercepted off of that left hand, knocking it up in the air.
2nd and 10 now from the 35. Werling is going to throw that pop pass again, but it's behind the defender. It's a fumble. It's bobbled and picked up by Sloan. Did he get it?
I think he's going to be out of bounds. He never had
They said
control.
He was out of bounds, but it will back them up 15 yards and be 3rd down and long. Oh, man, another opportunity. We'll take a look at the replay. It's behind the receiver. It took a bounce. Sloan couldn't grab it. If he would have been to the house.
That is as missed an opportunity as you can possibly dream of for this Hillsdale defense. Owen Sloan, a kid that takes that pitch probably 10 times per game in the running attack. It bounced right up into the breadbasket. For whatever reason, the sports gods just didn't bless him right there. As you mentioned, if that comes into his hands, there's nobody within about 5 yards of him. He's going to race the other way and make this just a couple of score game. They're showing it again on the big board. Oh, man. Sloan definitely did not control it before he hit the chalk, so it's going to be 3rd down and long. So a nice break here for the Falcons, but it could have been a game-changing play had Sloan been able to catch it off the hop.
3rd and 26 now for St. Henry. Werling looking to pass, going to throw it up to his man, overthrows his defender. It'll be 4th down, and the Falcons going to get off the field here.
Yeah, not even close there for Braden Heath. And if you're the offensive coordinator here for the Redskins, why are we throwing 3 consecutive passes? Every time they've stepped up and they've ran the football so far here today, it has been with a lot of aggression up front. They're averaging 10.5 yards per clip. So for the Falcons, you're saying, thank you very much. You've got a signal caller that completes only about 50% of his throws, so great defensive stand here for Hillsdale to get it back.
Brock Bauer looking to take the punt. It's going to take a bounce at the 22. He's going to pick it up at the 15, cut back up, and get some positive yards. Gets back out to the 20, and that's where the Falcons will have 1st and 10. 2:51 left, 1 timeout remaining here for Coach Klein's company.
Kael Lewis got to step up here and make some plays in the passing game. And Owen Sloan, too, he has been absolutely bottled up, a guy that we felt could have a breakout, extraordinary game after what happened last year where he was completely hobbled, a non-factor against Marion Local. So I think from what we've seen so far in this game, Travis, the way that they're getting defended, it's going to be the passing attack that's going to have to rise to the occasion. You might have to put it on the shoulders here of your junior.
You saw Coach Tom Williams, the assistant, was the head coach for Trevor Klein, and now he's an assistant. It's going to be a handoff to Sloan on 1st down, and he's going to get 1 yard out of it. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Clock running now at 2:40 left in the half. Stay tuned at the half. We will have the halftime band show. Both bands will be shown video as well right here, live on the OH Report. But Hillsdale wants to let the band play before the half with a score.
9 carries, 9 yards so far for Owen Sloan. There's just absolutely nowhere to go. They've tried the perimeter. It was their 3-yard loss that they had, one of the few negative plays in the rushing attack. So you almost have to abandon it, I think, Travis, and just try to get it out on the perimeter in the passing game. And here we go, but it's through the hands of McFadden.
Slant pattern to McFadden a bit high, went through his hands. It's 3rd down and 9. Oh, man, he had him too, but just a little bit too tall for him. He could have been off to the races on that slant as well. 3rd and 9 on the 21.
Needed a little bit better touch on that. Too high for McFadden. He got both hands on it, but that was a fireball, and that needed to be a bit more of an off-speed pitch because, to your point, the middle of the field had been vacated, and with Hayden McFadden's speed, we've seen 50-plus times that he's able to take it the distance.
So 3rd and 9. Sloan sidecar left, fakes the handoff, fakes the sweep. Now it's a throw to Sloan on the right side. Crott, 25, stiff arms, loses the football, but they're going to say he was down at the 24. It's going to be 4th down nonetheless, but at least it'll force a punt instead of a turnover on the Falcons. Looking at the replay, and yeah, they may review this.
Yeah, it just looked like a bit of bad luck as Owen Sloan's going down to the ground. One of his wide receivers kicks the ball out of his hand on accident, and they are going to review this. And Travis, this is a fumble, and it's going to be Redskins ball. They're going to be set up inside the 30. I'm not Dean Blandino, but I've got 3 looks at this.
Yeah, it is away before he's down. It was a St. Henry player just kicked it out of his hand, just an unlucky break there. It was picked up in play, though, by Jack Holzman, and they're going to have 1st and 10 at the 25. So luck not on the side of the Falcons here in this first half. Why? After last year, why can't Lady Luck be on their side for a little bit? I mean, come on.
I'm not going to be one of those guys that just harps on, hey, they're from the MAC, it's different. But at the same time, you look at all the state championships and the opportunity for 50 and for this program to have 7.
Oh, yeah.
So they just see quality teams every single week. And if you're not 100% prepared for every snap of the game, you're not going to be able to compete. And no disrespect to the WCAL, which is a fantastic football conference. But certainly you look at the run that they had to make through Region 27 versus the Region 28 run, where you got to go through the behemoth of Marion Local and some other quality teams. And you just feel like St. Henry beating the likes of New Bremen, Cedarville, Columbus Grove at Troy last week. They've seen it all, man, and this is a team that's probably poised for a title run. The biggest favorite of any team coming into the weekend.
21-point favorites. And they officially make the call. It is a turnover, and it will be 1st and 10, St. Henry with 2:02 left. Falcons unable to pick up a fumble. St. Henry is able to pick up the fumble. And they'll have it at the 28-yard line with 2:02 remaining.
Pretty devastating here for Hillsdale. The defense just made some plays, but you did them some favors with your play call for St. Henry. If they just keep it on the ground, the Falcons have really had trouble slowing it down. So look for this one to start off in Werling's hands, and I imagine either he or Speck is going to take this out of the backfield, but they're going to take a timeout first and talk about it.
They're going to take a timeout. We will as well. Be right back. 2:02 left in the half. Can the Falcons defense stand one more, or will St. Henry blow this open?
At Stoops Painting, we pride ourselves on quality work and attention to detail. We handle interior and exterior projects and always go the extra mile to ensure satisfaction. Call or text Garrett Stoops at 419-606-9015 for a free consultation or quote. That's 419-606-9015.
Back to action. 1st and 10 for Werling. He's going to hand it off. Speck gets only 2 yards on the carry. Tried reversing field on the play, and Hillsdale up for the task. Only 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8.
Getting a bit more keen from the linebacker role. Just trying to come and plug the gaps. Probably the best run defense we've seen so far from Hillsdale today.
2nd and 8. Werling fakes the sweep, takes it himself. He gets to the second level, gets to the 20-yard line, maybe just inside the 20. It's going to be short of the sticks, but it'll be 3rd down and short.
Carried the pile a little bit. Took a couple Falcons for a ride. Knocks Lewis down 2. Not a good sign, actually, here for Hillsdale. Excuse me, it looks like that's Jake Haven kind of clutching at his left wrist. So we're going to get an injury timeout. After another solid carry by the senior Werling, puts him at $171 already for the day on just 12 carries.
Yeah, it's been all him. There's just enough running by Speck, by Schwartz, by Langenkamp as well. But St. Henry's rushing attack, 167 yards on only 17 carries, 9.8 yards per rush. That's just anybody can win a game when you run the ball like that, and that's MAC football there for you right there. The MAC is known, they're known for their offense, but no, MAC football is known for their line. Just powerful, come right at you, throw down linemen. Doesn't matter the size either. I mean, you look at Marion Local the last few years, what they had. They were somewhat bigger. I mean, that senior class we talk about, but it doesn't matter. It's just the way that these linemen are taught in the MAC. It makes them better than everybody else.
Proof's in the pudding, man. I mean, numbers don't lie. Championships speak. They've got a lot of gold trophies back in Mercer County.
Werling takes the snap. He's going to get the first down. Needed 2, got 3. So Heffelfinger meets first down as we come up on 70 seconds left here in the half. St. Henry will be happy to take this clock all the way down and score with Hillsdale getting the ball of the half. Now the Falcons just need to get a stop for the last 60 seconds. 1st and 10 from the Hillsdale 16. 2 wide to the left, 1 to the right. Sidecar right is Speck. It's going to be a handoff to Speck. It's going to be a reverse, and it is going to be taken down in the backfield. Nice play by Carson Stevens to shed his blocker, to read it perfectly, and it's going to be a loss and a timeout by St. Henry. So a little bit of momentum for the Falcons there on that stop of trickery, and I don't think you need to run that play.
They've just lined up and gone straight ahead and had the most success, and I know that you want to be able to put it all out there and have this fancy-looking gameplay in the state championship game, but we've talked about it the last couple of drives where they've hurt themselves. It's been in the passing attack, trying to do something a little bit different here where they get Hulsman coming off of the edge, one on a double reverse on the screen or a double reverse run play right there. So if you're Hillsdale, you are more than happy to allow the Redskins to come out and produce plays just like we saw right there. And give credit to the Falcons. Stevens with a fantastic read as well. Love what the sophomore brings to the equation on the defensive side of the ball.
It was announced 3,912 fans here And compared to at least the first 2 games last night, that's a decent crowd here for this Division 7 state championship. Second season for Josh Werling, 20-6 overall record as head coach. 2nd and 10. Werling with Speck to his left. He's going to fake the handoff. He's going to look to pass. He's going to throw it left side, and it is going to be knocked away at the last second by Davis Radcliffe. That was so close to being a Halsman touchdown catch, but Radcliffe was able to cut down the angle and just get a hand on it at the last second and knock it away. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
He was beat by 5 yards into the end zone. He had to race his way, I think is the proper term, to dive, lay out, Superman, get a right paw on it to knock it down, and well underthrown there by Werling. If he puts a little bit more air underneath that one, that is an easy touchdown. Nobody around Jake in the end zone, so credit the sophomore making the break, knocking it down.
Same look again. Werling's going to look to pass again, getting rushed. It's going to be a screen. Speck with it. He's going to get into the end zone. Screen pass touchdown.
Kael Schwartz, the senior, had 2 great blocks out on the perimeter. He released from his guard spot. Boom, gets the first. Boom, gets to the second level, and nobody lays a finger on Speck.
Yeah, he had 3 guys ahead of him and just untouched into the end zone. It's 29-3.
Good-looking setup. Nice execution on the play design as well for St. Henry, and they are looking like the number 2 team in the state right now, steamrolling their way. And late game scores like this before the break, as the PAT is tacked on as well, it just feels a little bit worse in your belly when you're going into the break, fresh off of not being able to stop your opponent. So for St. Henry, all the momentum is on their side.
Yep, 30-3, and again, they took advantage of the fumble. Hillsdale, multiple chances to get the big play, unable to, and it turns into just a rout at this moment. 27-point lead here for St. Henry as we go into the half. And, I mean, yes, Hillsdale's on the board, but this is giving flashbacks of a year ago.
And you don't want to cry over spilt milk, but like you mentioned, you spin back and you look at the previous possession, and Owen Sloan, a ball right in his lap, nobody in front of him, a chance to take a fumble in for a touchdown. Instead, he can't corral it, can't even bring it in for Hillsdale to get the football, and then St. Henry able to capitalize on a bit of bad fortune. The ball kicked out of Owen's hands, so sometimes it just feels like things mount against you. It snowballs, and there's an avalanche. If you're the Falcons, though, you cannot allow yourself to be buried underneath it. Keep playing with pride, man, here. This is the last day of the season. Got to let it all hang out.
It's going to be kicked right to Sloan at the 15. Across the 20, 25 cuts back to the 30, down to the 31. And that's where the Falcons will have it. 1 timeout remaining, 25 seconds left. It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Klein and company try to draw up here before the half.
Probably just a safe, quick pass out to Hayden McFadden seems like it would be a wise choice, because he's turned a whole lot of molehills into mountains for Hillsdale in the passing attack over the years, and he's had one-on-one coverage more often than not. Right now it's going to be Tate Bachman out with him. He does have safety help.
And it's going to be a handoff to Sloan. Sloan moves ahead for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down, and I don't know if the Falcons will run another play here before the half.
Best run so far of the day for Owen Sloan. Yeah, just 14 yards now on 11 carries. And for Coach Klein's bunch, going into the break down 27, it is a mini disaster so far here for the Falcons, who competed really well early on in the contest. But St. Henry, boy, have they changed things the way that they look down the stretch. Blocking, great ball carrying, and that's why they look like they are the team to beat in D7.
D7 number 2, St. Henry 30. D7 number 5, Hillsdale 3. We'll take a break, be back with both bands at the Halftime Band Show after this for the Division 7 State Championship.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local train comfort specialist.
Searching for stationery that feels personal? Make it truly inspired. From custom wedding invitations and greeting cards to business stationery and gifts, every design from Truly Inspired Paper Company is handcrafted in Ohio. Whether you're celebrating a milestone, saying thanks, or sharing everyday joy, we make it easy to create something beautiful and memorable. Visit trulyinspiredpaperco.com and make every message truly inspired.
You're watching the Division 7 State Championship football game 100% live and free. Thanks to our good friends at Crosby Advisory Group, where you can invest, plan, and retire with Crosby Advisory. Heffelfingers Meats Inc. out of Dromesville, established back in 1934. They specialize in retail and wholesale beef and pork. You can contact them at 419-368-7131. They say, go Falcons. Simonson Construction Services Inc. From concept to completion, you can count on Simonson to make your project exactly what it needs to be. Sloan Concrete, locally owned and operated since 2005, specializing in both decorative and standard concrete services for the local area, marking 20 years of business. Today's broadcast also presented by Buckeye Horizon Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your local train comfort specialist, along with Truly Inspired. The holidays are here, folks. Shop their 2025 holiday collection online at trulyinspiredpaperco.com. And also, big props to Stoops Painting LLC, who pride themselves on quality work and attention to small details. You can request a quote by calling or texting Garrett Stoops at the number down in the description.
Tonight's performances feature seniors Lilia Shevsky, Autumn Bond, Michaela Schwindeman, and Michaela Simmons. We hope that our rendition of the 2003 Britney Spears hit doesn't come off as too toxic. song is a 4-time platinum smash hit from 2015 by the incredible Elle King, a song that took the world by storm with a mix of blues, rock, and pop. Featuring the power and energy of the Hillsdale color-guarded drum line, get ready to clap, groove, and sing along as we bring down the house with X's and O's. And this has been the 2025 Hillsdale Falcon Marching Band. One more round of applause for the pride of Hillsdale, the Falcon Marching Band.
Under the direction of Alicia Hardings, assisted by Rachel Debbie, and led across the field by Field Commanders Emma Cadanya, Rhea Mikey, and Kate Rosenbeck. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the band that dares to be different, the St. Henry Marching Redskins. All right, everyone, are you ready to shake the stands tonight? We have two 90s anthems mashups that will show you what it means to stand tall, speak up, and never back down. This is We're Not Gonna Take It and Dream On. second song tonight is known for its energetic, folk-inspired melody, memorable chorus, and lyrics about escaping a mundane life. The song became a massive international hit, reaching #1 in several countries, including the UK and the USA. This is Come On Eileen. Fans, get ready to feel the beat. The Xander Marching Band is about to unleash some serious funk with a legendary anthem from Queen. Get on your feet and let's get ready to rock with another one bites the dust.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
At Stoops Painting, we pride ourselves on quality work and attention to detail. We handle interior and exterior projects and always go the extra mile to ensure satisfaction. Call or text Garrett Stoops at 419-606-9015 for a free consultation or quote. That's 419-606-9015.
Back here inside the Sloan Concrete halftime show. Hope you enjoyed that wonderful music as you see both teams. Travis Berardi back here with Brian Skoronsky, and you see the score 30-3 in favor of state number 2 St. Henry. The running game just very, very good for the Redskins, Brian.
They've been dominant up front, both sides of the football as well, because when you're about to show these halftime stats, Owen Sloan has been a non-factor. They've given it to him 10 times. He's had no running room. His best run came on the last carry of that second quarter, where he broke loose for just a whole total of 4 yards. So I mentioned it probably about midway through the first quarter that it just feels like if you're going to have an opportunity in this game for Hillsdale offensively, you need Kael Lewis to try to go out there and wheel and deal. And the secondary is going to give you some opportunities. A lot of times they're playing with just one high safety, so somebody is able to win a one-on-one matchup potentially and make a big play. But it doesn't appear that the rushing attack is going to be something that's going to carry you like it has the last several weeks here for the Falcons. And on the flip side, of course, boy, how many holes have we seen that you could bring a small RV through here so far for St. Henry? They're getting out to the next level as well, so they're winning at the point of attack. They're getting to the linebacker core and opening up a lot of things right now for their star runners, and Worley right at the top of the list with the 181 yards that he's accumulated.
Yeah, and just some individual numbers right now rushing for Hillsdale. Owen Sloan, 13 total yards. Kael Lewis, -3 on a couple sacks. He is 9 of 13, 90 yards passing, sacked once. Hayden McFadden, 2 catches, 51 yards. Davis Radcliffe, 2 catches, 18 yards. Owen Sloan, 2 catches for 16 yards, and the fumble. But for St. Henry, Charlie Werling, he's as advertised. 13 carries, 146, and 2 touchdowns. He had along with that 70-yard touchdown. He's averaging 11.2 yards per rush. Will Speck, 3 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown from 26 yards out. He's averaging 11.7 yards per rush. So as you can see, just these two teams, it's a contrast of rushing right now. You think it was Hillsdale with the running attack, but no, it's the flipped on its head as St. Henry just running up and down the field. Once again, want to say hello to everybody listening in the stadium and outside of the stadium as we finish off our high school football coverage for 2025. It's crazy that we're already here at the end of fall sports, Brian.
Well, it feels like it's kind of been in the books a little bit. It's great. The soccer finished up a month ago. Volleyball as well. The state championships are kind of a distant memory for us as we've turned the page a little bit towards basketball season and filled in a couple of texts here at halftime about some games that we have coming up here tonight as well. So it's been an awesome season, the best football year that we've ever experienced on Owers Report, with so many of our teams that we work with making it to state Final Four again this year. They just have run into some really challenging competition when they've got to the final day of the year. We saw yesterday with Shelby, who only put up 26 yards. That is a state record in terms of the least amount ever in a game. And then so far here for Hillsdale, they have played 6 quarters here at Canton. They have scored 3 points.
Yes.
And I know this team's going to play with a bunch of pride in the second half. I love that they get the football first. Go set the tone here, Falcons. You've got to make every single down count. I guarantee that that's been part of the conversation they were just having within the locker room. Trevor Klein, he's a Dromesville guy through and through. This is the alma mater that he helped take to the playoffs, get him to the regional championship game. Now he's been able to break through as a coach, get to the state finals back-to-back years. An unbelievable accomplishment in itself. However, you're here, man. Make the most of it. Don't lay down. Don't do what you did last year where you were basically looking to take a knee and get out of here because your fanny was getting kicked all over the place. St. Henry is a great team, but I think for Hillsdale, come out here, apply some pressure, get some smiles, complete some passes, make some openings on the offensive side of things, and you'll feel a whole lot better about your journey. You're not going to go into the offseason like they did last year, where it was this bitter, awful taste in their mouth that helped carry them, I think, to this point in the season. But this Hillsdale team is different. They got to play inspired here in the second half.
Yeah, and, well, let's bring up the Baylog. They get the ball first, get a score, get a stop, get a score, and just like that, it's a 2-score game with probably at least a quarter left. Hillsdale, we've shown that they've been able to not run the ball, but move the ball downfield, 90 yards passing by Kael Lewis. So it's just a matter of, can they get together a solid drive here, apply some pressure on St. Henry. Maybe the tides turn. Maybe you get a little bit of that luck that you weren't able to have in that first half. So you take a look at head coach Trevor Klein. What a job he has done at Hillsdale.
70 wins.
Yeah, played football at Hillsdale, went to the Ohio State University, who is playing in a conference championship game tonight, by the way, number 1 versus number 2. But yeah, 70-27 overall record, 2 state semifinal appearances as well, and the team 19-13 in the playoffs. Kick is away. It's going to get over the head of Owen Sloan, and the Falcons will start after the touchback, 1st and 10, and here we go. This is what are we going to see from the Falcons out here in the second half? We'll find out right now.
We touched on all the different accolades that Owen Sloan's had, over 5,000 yards, and what he's done here the last several weeks as a rusher, over 200 yards the last 3 games. That's just not available here today. So for the Falcons, I think we're going to see him spread it out a little bit more, maybe run some tempo at this point and just try to complete some quick, short passes. Hayden McFadden, too. You've only tried to go deep once, and your senior standout made the play. Maybe they look to do that a bit more here in the second half.
Handoff Sloan, trying to get to the outside, gets tripped up and taken down at the line of scrimmage. He was tripped up by Anderson Kramer, the senior outside linebacker. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Just pursuit to the football. St. Henry has been fantastic at it so far here in this competition. The Falcons aren't able to get to a second defender here when they're blocking. They're matched up one-on-one, and when that's the case, when you're trying to put 5 on just their 4 or 5 guys, that means that there's going to be 6 others running free, and so far they've been able to get the ball carrier.
2nd and 10, 3 wide for Lewis. Quick throw. It's going to be deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down.
Tried to do a seam route right up the middle. Knox Lewis had a little bit of a step. He had Drew Langenkamp on him, but with the guys upstairs with their hands knocking it down at the line of scrimmage, sets up 3rd down long. Falcons have kind of been living here in these scenarios after they had that 3-point drive where they drove down to the 5-yard line before tacking on the field goal.
3rd and 10 from their own 20. They're going to go 5 wide, try and spread things out. Kael fakes it. He's going to keep it himself across the 25 up to about the 28. It'll be 4th down. Give it 3, and the Falcons looking like they're going to punt.
They do send out the punt unit. Trevor Klein did not hesitate. As soon as they got stopped, he looked over to his crew, said, we got to punt this football away. Defense, step up. Try to get the football back for our offense, and certainly a 3-and-out is worst-case scenario here for all you Falcons fans.
Lewis looking to punt, gets the snap back, holds it for a second, and it's going to get deflected and fielded. Somehow it got right into the hands of two St. Henry receivers, but it was stuck in the hands of Heath, and they will get great field position after the deflection. If they don't field that correctly, that's a fumble, and that would be Hillsdale's chance to jump on it. But once again, Lady Luck on the side of St. Henry. We're looking at the replay right now, it just flies into the hands of two St. Henry defenders that collide with each other but still make the catch, and they'll have first down and 10 at the Hillsdale 32.
They overload the right side. Hillsdale does not have enough men over there to block it. Drew Langenkamp untouched, and the junior able to touch the football right off of the right toe of Lewis, and really credit Braden Heath. Made the catch out of the air to have him set up again in Falcon territory.
First and 10. He's going to keep it again up towards the 25. They're going to give him the 26, give him 6 yards, and Werling continuing to mark up those rushing yards for himself, as he had 180 at the half. He's trying to get himself the record for rushing yards in a D7 championship game.
260, so he's closing in, man. He's about 75 yards shy of that, and he's coming out here in an empty set.
And he will keep it right up the middle. He jumps out to the right side, has a hole. 15, but tripped up and taken down at the 15 by Davis Radcliffe. It's going to be enough for a Heffelfinger meets first down, but that shoestring tackle just saved Hillsdale from a running clock.
He's got unassuming speed out there. It does not look like he's moving with any type of a pace, but we saw earlier in the game when he took off for that long 70-yard touchdown run. Werling, if he's able to get to the perimeter, he's been able to outrun a lot of guys so far here wearing the white unis.
First and 10 at the Hillsdale 14. Werling, he's going to run it himself left side, has a hole, gets across the 10, gets down to the 8-yard line, second down and manageable.
And that's where they've been living, and I do not know why they wouldn't just keep playing this game. Run left, run light, keep the ball in the hands of Werling every now and again, mix it up. We've seen other players be able to have impacts. Will Speck, of course, had the touchdown run, a nice one, had the touchdown reception as well. But there's no need really to complicate things. I think if you're the Redskins, you've identified that you cannot be stopped in the ground attack.
Second and 4. They can get a first down at the 4. Werling's going to keep it right up the gut. Going to juke, get to the 4, get down to the 2, and another Heffelfinger meets first down. It's first and goal from the 2.
Camden Morgan got a good jump on it. He was able to turn the ball carrier back towards the middle, but with the patience, the vision, able to sneak through out to the 2-yard line to set him up again right on the doorstep. And the Redskins, they've got a good run going right now. 4 consecutive drives with points. Actually, 4 out of their last 5, excuse me. They had the one blunder.
Stacked formation here at the line. Werling looking for another rushing touchdown. He's going to take it right up the middle. He's going to get hit, though, at the line and push back. A good job by Hillsdale to keep him from crossing. He will get a yard. It'll be second and goal from the 1.
Right into the arms of Morgan, and he had just enough leverage to force him back at the half-yard line. Falcons trying to get some extra beef up front right now.
So second and goal from inside the 1. Werling's still going to be back out in that shotgun look. Everybody bunched in. Takes the snap. He's going to roll right, and he's into the end zone. We got ourselves a running clock. 36-3.
Third touchdown run for Werling on the afternoon now. 213 yards. So he's having a potential record-setting performance that you're watching right here in this Division 7 state championship game. And just a really tough pill to swallow here if you're a fan of the Falcons and certainly the players and the coaching staff to see that clock winding now on a special teams play with the 33-point differential. And now they're in the neutral zone for the third time that we've seen on a point-after attempt. And so far, the Redskins have cycled in the offense, gone for 2 and got it. Doesn't look like they're going to do it this
good
time.
sports now with the running clock. Coach Werling said, we'll just kick this. Classy move there by him as the clock reaching down to 7 minutes left in the third. Werling running all over Jeromesville Hillsdale. Snap down, the kick is away, and that is good. 6:46 left in the third. St. Henry up 34 points.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
It's all about pride now, Brian. Hillsdale trailing 37-3 here in the second half. Just play your game. Try and get some points on the board here in the second half. Get the running clock to stop. That's your goal right now. You're down 34 points.
You got to try to have many victories along always to the greater goal, but it feels as though you're correct and probably a comeback out of the equation here at this point with the score being what it is. And you got a lot of fans here in attendance that have been with you throughout the entire course of the journey, well represented the entire way all season long in the last 2 years. This is a great senior class that has some really cool kids that you're just happy to get behind. So I think that we're not going to see any quit here today. A season ago, not a lot of seniors on that team, Travis, kind of a junior bunch that was leading the way, and it felt a lot different than it did coming into today. However, feels like the score is getting away from them and didn't anticipate this and what we've been experiencing so far in this competition. But I do feel like now, I mean, all bets are off. You just punted. It went for about 5 yards of a net change in the field. It gets blocked. You give it back to their offense, and you can't seem to slow them down. Werling is having an unbelievable afternoon with the 213 yards, averaging 11 yards per carry so far. So what do you have to lose at this point? You got to air it out. Any gadget plays that you have, you don't get to practice next week. It's over today.
This is the last day of the This is the last day of the football season.
You got to wield everything that's in your arsenal. No sense in saving any ammo because it's useless in about an hour.
So the Falcons out of this media timeout will get the kick. Went 3 and out to start the second half. And like we said, ball was blocked. Great field position for Werling, who went in with another touchdown. And now we will see what they can do with their second possession of the third quarter.
But look at the body language difference. People jumping around, psyched up to be on that St. Henry sideline because they can all but taste those gold medals, man. They know that they've got some hardware that's going to be coming back with them to Mercer County. Have not had a state championship in a while, man. 19 years since they've been on this big stage. They've waited. They've been patient, and it looks like it's all coming to fruition for them. And on the flip side, over on the Falcons end, looks like guys are a little bit cold standing over there. There hasn't been a lot to really get emotional about. Try to change the tide here, getting the football back.
It'll be Bauer that gets it at the 10, gets across the 15 to the 20, tries to go to the right, gets 4 more yards out to the 24, and that is where the Falcons will start here. 1st and 10, clock running here with 6:20 left in the third quarter.
So as we just detailed a little bit, I think the game plan's got to be now, okay, what's some things that we came up this week specifically for St. Henry? How do we catch them off guard? You got to hit them with it now. Time is of the essence. You're already at the midway point here, the third quarter. It's moving fast. Got to be able to stop the bleeding with this running clock to give yourselves more of an opportunity to be out on the field.
Quick hitter right side to Bauer, and Bauer gets across the 30 up to about the 31, so a nice bubble screen right side, gets 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Hillsdale this season has been only shut out in a quarter 8 times. So that second quarter was only the 9th time this season that they had been shut out in any quarter.
Jeannie out there says that she is believing, thinks that we're going to see some scores out there. She's also listening. Andrew James, not so happy with what he's seeing so far here, I presume, from the Falcons and the resistance that they've given or lack thereof on defense.
Quick hitter left side to Bauer again. Caught at the 30, wrapped up, gets to about the 31. He'll get a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Good tackle by Braden Heath coming over off of his man to make the stop. 2 straight completions now for Kael Lewis, who had a disastrous state championship game last year, and he's close to 100 yards now and only 5 misfires. Hasn't really put the ball in harm's way out of the deflected pass. I think the junior has really played some confident football, and the one deep shot he took, it was a great pass.
Yeah, he just needs to get more looks downfield, which he's going to try right now. Has some time, rolling, looking. He's going to get taken down from behind, a yard short of the 1st down.
Run down by Charlie Werling, coming from that weak side area to set up a 4th down and 2. The offense obviously is going to stay out there here for the Falcons. And watching the backside, we've got a great view up here on the 7th level here in the press box. Nothing's open. There was nowhere to go with that football. There's a couple of occasions where you thought maybe a half second, but those are anticipatory Matt Stafford NFL type of passes, the only way you could squeeze it in.
4th and 1. Bunched 4 to the right for Lewis. He's going to hand it off to Sloan, and Sloan fights his way towards the sticks. Still moving. The referees are going to give him the 1st down. It's a Heffelfinger meets 1st down as he barely got the line to gain. They're looking, and yes, it is. It's a 1st down. So the Falcons will move the sticks.
One of the hardest fought yards that Hillsdale's picked up all season long. Owen Sloan, he gave 110% there, flying into the hole. Werling met him again. This kid has been all over the football field here today. First down Hillsdale's experienced in quite some time now. We'll see if they can string together a couple and start building up a little bit of confidence.
Same formation for the Falcons. It's going to be a handoff as Sloan tries to go to the left side, but there's 5 Redskins there to take him down at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd and 10.
Just not a lot to be had in the running game. Talked about it a bunch so far here today. Owen Sloan has been pedestrian because he's getting hit initially at the line of scrimmage. Not like we saw the last several weeks and throughout the duration of his senior year where he's gone over a 5,000 yards now for his career. This is a little bit different style of competition today against the St. Henry defensive unit that has been locked in from the jump.
2nd and 10 from the Hillsdale 34. It's going to be fake on the sweep. Lewis, no time to pass. Getting rushed. He throws it, and it is going to be knocked out of the hands of a defender. In there playing Trevor Rubinault was able to knock it out of the hands of one of the St. Henry corners, or that would have been an interception. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, quickly the offensive weapon has to turn into a defensive player, and late pressure coming off of the release there from Nick Leftfield. We've called his name a bunch of times so far here today. He has been a menace from that left defensive end spot, and St. Henry, man, I mean, they're just crowding the line of scrimmage. They're showing different looks, and I think it's really confusing Kael Lewis right now.
Lewis, quick hitter, throws it on a cross pattern. McFadden's caught it across the 45, the 50, down to the 45, down to the 43, and they got another Heffelfinger meets 1st down. That cross was there earlier. He overthrew him. This time, McFadden makes the catch, gets some extra yak yards, and the Falcons now into St. Henry territory.
And that is a dot from Kael Lewis. He threw it exactly when he had to, right when the break happened, and you just see that they've got
great
that.
Throw.
It's locked in there between he and McFadden. I'm looking number 10's way just about every down here when I'm dropping back to pass. He's won his matchup so far. Every target, he's come through with his 3 grabs.
1st and 10. It's going to be a quick pass left side. Rubenalt makes the catch and then immediately taken down. Ball's on the ground. Now they're going to say he was down by contact, so it'll be a gain of maybe 1 and 2nd and 9.
Yeah, they said that before, though, with the Owen Sloan fumble, and then they reversed the call. Of course, we have that with Spectrum doing the games here, that the instant replays, they can go up to the booth. We're watching it right now on the big screen. Rubenalt almost got his...
Oh, his elbow knocked it out, so that's down by contact. So we come down to the last 30 seconds of the quarter. Hillsdale will have to run a play before we get to the end of the quarter. 2nd down, they actually did not give him any yards. It's 2nd and 10 from the St. Henry 42-yard line. 2 wide to the left, 2 to the right for Lewis. Sloan sidecar right. Lewis back to pass, rolling, getting rushed, trying to get something. He throws it to Sloan, who got out of the backfield. Down to the 35, down inside the 35 to the 33, close to 1st down yardage, but Sloan, after his blocking assignment, kind of slipped out. Kael Lewis found him with enough time, and he gets 9 yards, as that will end the 3rd quarter. So we've played 3 here in the D7 championship. St. Henry, lone score of the quarter, lead at 37-3, but the Falcons with a little bit of life as we start quarter 4 after the break.
At Stoops Painting, we pride ourselves on quality work and attention to detail. We handle interior and exterior projects and always go the extra mile to ensure satisfaction. Call or text Garrett Stoops at 419-606-9015 for a free consultation or quote. That's 419-606-9015.
Final quarter of the football season for us here on the OH Report. 37-3, St. Henry on its way to its 7th state championship. But the Falcons on the move right now, trying to get into the end zone, trailing 37-3. Travis Berardi back here, Brian Skoronsky. And Ski, Kael Lewis making a couple plays here. Passing, he threw an absolute dime to McFadden where he just threaded the needle for a big 1st down, and then in his scramble mode was able to find Owen Sloan for a 9-yard gain, and that sets up a 3rd and 1 when we return to action from the 33 of St. Henry.
I think he's a pretty good player, off script, off schedule, moving the pocket, rolling to his right. There's been heavy pressure often. Love what we saw on the last down. Slow developing play. Owen Sloan makes a break. Nobody picks him up. Missed assignment that time for St. Henry, one of the very few that they've had all afternoon long here in this championship affair. But for Kael Lewis in this offense, you got to just keep going to the sky. Have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Make plays, like I said, off scripts. That's probably going to be your best weapon that you have here today. Owen Sloan, a non-factor in the running attack. Can't seem to get anything in terms of moving the line of scrimmage, so I think that the aerial assault here in this 4th quarter is going to be on full display for the Falcons. But what do they got, 3rd and inches here? Maybe they run it here.
Yeah, the media guy in the red jacket and hat still out on the field for Spectrum. Now he will walk off, and we will begin play here in the 4th quarter. 37-3 St. Henry on a 30-0 run here. Bauer in motion, fakes the handoff to Sloan. Lewis rolling to his left. He's going to have enough room to get the 1st down. He does, gets across the 30, gets ahead inside the 30, down to the 27, and it's a Heffelfinger meets 1st down.
Pretty good foot speed right there. Left fold, of course, again getting in the backfield, forces him off his spot, backside, where he's eventually tracked down there by Braden Heath, who does a nice job keeping his head on a swivel, sideline to sideline. Looked like it was going to be a much bigger gain than it ended up being. However, a fresh set, new downs on the way here with a 1st and 10 from the 28.
3 wide for Lewis. Sloan behind him. It's going to be a handoff to Owen. Owen getting across the line of scrimmage, getting 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Sloan, after 3 quarters, 25 receiving yards, only 14 rushing yards for him.
I've said my piece with this for 2.5 quarters strong. You're not able to run it right now. They're too good defensively up front. The linebackers, they fill in the holes way too aggressively. You got to be able to go through the air, and they've got some guys that can win some one-on-one matchups.
2nd down and 8 from the St. Henry 26. 2 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Sidecar right is Sloan. Lewis takes the snap, has time. He's going to lob it for McFadden, but it's going to be picked off. McFadden kind of stopped his route, and it was intercepted by Tate Boakman. So he tried kind of like the same play that got the big gain, but this time Boakman and McFadden were just locked together. Boakman disengages and makes the jumping interception on the left side, and that will end the Hillsdale drive.
It was a very peculiar-looking development because McFadden was being locked up, hand-fighting out there on the perimeter with Boakman, as you mentioned, who ended up doing the splits on the end in a return. So we've got a low-key injury timeout as he is very slow moving off the field, but looked like a really athletic gymnastic type of play there at the end, but good hands as well. You're right, just trying to force it up, see if McFadden can make a play, but he was stopped dead in his tracks. Almost could have warranted a flag, I think. However, they let him play on, and St. Henry with a turnover here, looking to milk some clock.
Werling is going to hand it off. Cuts up right side, about 7-8 yards on the carry is Speck. And that'll set up 2nd down and short. St. Henry now just running clock to get to that state championship. They're 9 minutes away.
It's been a great story for the St. Henry program as well, who they've got such great tradition, but not recently. I mean, they've made the playoffs each of the last several seasons, but you look back to the freshman year for Werling and the gang, they only won 2 games, Travis. They made the postseason because of those 2 wins were pretty good, but then 5 wins in 2023. They only had 3 in the regular season there as we get Speck again with the ball carry out to the 33-yard line. And then last year, a little bit of a climb where they won 6 regular season games, 1 playoff victory. It's a team that perennially, you know that they're going to be in the picture in terms of the tournament, but it's been a bit of a slow build for these juniors and seniors, setting the stage for this awesome sophomore class with Speck leading the way out here as a ball carrier. So it feels like it's just culminating in what's been a journey for this team, getting to the point where now they're kind of a juggernaut within Division 7.
1st and 10 for Werling. At the 33, it's going to be a handoff to Langenkamp, and Langenkamp is going to continue their almost 11 yards per gain average, getting 8 there. But yeah, this is just a team in the MAC where you've read articles where some coaches say winning the MAC championship sometimes better than winning a state championship, just because that conference is so tough to be competitive and win in.
Runner-up this year, Marion Local, the champion, undefeated with the 10-0 regular campaign that they had. St. Henry gave them an awesome game, and Marion Local actually had to play 3 tough games throughout the course of the MAC schedule to end up winning it. And they look like they're going to be a big favorite next year as Speck gets another carry. Nice trip up, though, by Knox Lewis in the backfield.
Yeah, able to get the shoestring tackle behind the sticks. No gain. It'll be 3rd and 2 as we hit 7 minutes left here in the season.
For everybody in Division 7, the conversation has been that if you want to get Marion Local, this has to be the year. So for St. Henry to make that accomplishment in the 2nd round in the playoffs, 21-7 too, it was a double-digit victory for them. just felt like this was kind of their year to get here and do some damage in the championship game.
Hillsdale jumps off sides, and it will move the sticks for St. Henry as they will continue to run this clock away.
Then on the flip side for the Falcons, record setters are going to be leaving this program, man. So it's going to be, I think, a really emotional bus ride back in the post-game press conference room. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what that feels like. It's been a better showing for them here today, but I think myself and everybody that made the trip up here from Jonesville, and specifically the kids on the team, thought that they had what it took this year.
Yeah, you had a feeling like this could have been something, but just it didn't fall their way early on. Speck, big hole right side across midfield, across the Hillsdale 45, down to the 43, 12 yards on the carry. Another Heffelfinger down, but it just didn't run their way in the first possession. They score. They stop St. Henry on their first possession. They start driving, turn it over on downs. Couldn't get that. There's the first one. St. Henry scores. You get down to the 6-yard line. A missed early opening on a pass on second down. It could have been for a touchdown to tie things up. That's the second. St. Henry scores again one play later on a missed assignment. There's number 3. And then you saw with the fumble that could have been, an interception that could have been. It didn't roll Hillsdale's way today. Handoff again. Another gain of about 4 yards for Langenkamp as he gets inside the Hillsdale 40 to the 39, under 5 to play.
What's cool about this matchup, though, 2 public schools, both with a coach coming back at their alma mater, taking over and playing with a lot of pride. We've seen Coach Werling just took over last season, and like I said, baby steps, man. They went from 2 wins to 5 wins to 7 wins to now where they're in the state championship game and about to collect their 14th in the gold trophy to go home. And for Trevor Klein, he was the quarterback the last time that they went as far as they did last year during his reign when he was playing in the 2010s. Another carry here. It's going to go real near first down yardage, but 2 really cool storylines and just program builders for Coach Klein and Coach Werling to get to this point. No private schools involved here in this championship game, and this is a matchup that I think you look forward to if you're the OHSAA, to put these great programs on display. And how about each of them have exactly 105 boys at the school?
Yeah. I mean, these are boys that come up through the system, you know, these small schools in their rural areas, and they pride themselves. And this is just for the younger players too. This is great for their program making it to the state championship game, because it makes these kids that want to get back here. You know, you got that taste even as a fan, as a little kid over there on the sideline, or as a ball boy, you want to get back. So it just benefits your program no matter what. And for Hillsdale, back-to-back appearances, they're not going to come out with the gold either time, but just being here, getting that taste, it just doesn't do anything but benefit the squad.
Yeah, certainly should carry the next generation of players that are coming up through the ranks here for the Falcons. They've got several sophomores that are involved this year, so it's been a good meld of younger players mixing in with this fabulous 15 senior class, getting here to the final day of the season, where St. Henry in this running attack with Speck going inside the 20 here.
Gets another Heffelfinger meets first down for 7 yards. And they're inside the 20. They're down to about 242 as well. And we're getting close to the greatest formation in all of football. Victory formation for St. Henry is they're going to give their seniors, they're going to give their starting players a curtain call. They'll call timeout here once it gets down to 1 second, so about 2:05. But Coach Werling calling off the dogs per se, but also giving his players a well-deserved round of applause from the fans here that made the travel about 3 hours from St. Henry to here.
Yeah, pretty much on the Indiana border. Yeah, this is a special moment right now. They've got a dozen seniors on the roster, but specifically when you've got your kid out there and he is balling out, He's the quarterback. He's been playing awesome on defense. This has to be just such a super exciting moment for that family and for this entire fan base. And they have been loud and proud all day. I'll give you a shout of the student section here. There's a lot of shirts that are missing, moms. So there are some boys out here that have braved the cold to show their ultimate fandom, and it has paid off as they have helped lead this team to an eventual state championship, just 2 minutes, 3 seconds away from bringing back the first gold trophy to St. Henry in 19 seasons.
Just Max Strong here today in Canton, and it seems like these small schools, you're getting Max schools year in and year out winning in D7 and D6. I mean, Coldwater beating Kirtland last year, Marion Local winning last year. You just have to run through the MAC if you want to win a state championship. It doesn't matter who it is. You're always running through a MAC team, it seems like, just because they do it the right way out there. It's not like, you have an Ironton situation or anything like that. They just produce local athletes year in and year out. They do it right. They do it with the youth, soccer and football correctly. They just do everything so well that it puts them above and beyond the rest of high school football in the state of Ohio.
I mean, there's been New York Times articles written about that conference and the number of championships they have, not just in football. As you detailed, there are a lot of sports. Volleyball certainly sticks out as well, where they've got plenty of teams that are typically participating in the final weekend of the season. So you got to give flowers to the teams and the programs and certainly the conferences that have showed up, showed out, and every single year, as you mentioned, you're not winning a Division VI or D7 state championship likely unless you go through at least one MAC team, man.
Yep.
You're going to have to run through one of these buzzsaws, and this year it's turned out to be St. Henry and the culmination of the season that I mentioned, where it's just been one step after another for this senior class. And the 12 of them have really taken big strides here in their final season. It looks like they're going to cap it off the right way.
So now in at quarterback is number 44, Tyson Rosenbeck. He's going to hand it off right up the middle to Owen Rao, and he won't get anything. It'll be second down, but the best thing that's happening for St. Henry is this clock is now running to 1:43, so they'll have to snap it maybe, I believe, twice more to finish this off.
And they've got those feels going on the sideline right now, those state championship vibes, watching the hugs and the emotion, and you guarantee there's going to be some joyous tears down there. Just there's such a fine line between joy and pain. One side's going to experience one, and on the other for St. Henry, just the ultimate crown and an achievement. It's hard not to just feel really happy for them, their fan base, cheerleaders. What's great about football is it's so much more than just the players and coaches. It's the community. It's the band members. You get the cheerleaders out there. So there's a lot of moving parts and pieces that are all a part of this big, grand experience, and that's why it's the ultimate team sport in so many different dynamics. What's better than high school football in the state of Ohio, and especially this time of year in December?
One more snap is all it's going to take, as St. Henry is going to win its first state championship in 19 years. And yes, they do have the greatest formation of all, the victory formation. There's the snap, there's the kneel, and that is it. Final seconds running off the clock. St. Henry is going to win its 7th state championship. 37-3 over the Hillsdale Falcons, who for back-to-back seasons finish as state runners-up. That's it. It's a final score, 37-3. We'll take a break. MVP interview, we'll have that separately because of where they hold the interviews and everything. But we will be back for final stats and to wrap up our football coverage for 2025 here on the OH Report.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
Searching for stationery that feels personal? Make it truly inspired. From custom wedding invitations and greeting cards to business stationery and gifts, every design from Truly Inspired Paper Company is handcrafted in Ohio. Whether you're celebrating a milestone, saying thanks, or sharing everyday joy, we make it easy to create something beautiful and memorable. Visit trulyinspiredpaperco.com and make every message truly inspired.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
At Stoops Painting, we pride ourselves on quality work and attention to detail. We handle interior and exterior projects and always go the extra mile to ensure satisfaction. Call or text Garrett Stoops at 419-606-9015 for a free consultation or quote. That's 419-606-9015.
Looking for the best high school sports coverage in Ohio?
Back here is Tim Streed of the OHSAA is about to award the Division 7 State Runner-Up Trophy to Hillsdale, the second consecutive season that the Falcons played in the final day of the regular season, or of the actual season, I should say, and finish as state runners-up, but only two teams, Brian, in the state of Ohio can say that they got to play at Hall of Fame Stadium, and they get to still go home with some hardware.
This is such an unbelievable unit, man. I really love this team. I feel attached to them. You know, there's a lot of kids that we're going to miss moving forward, and certainly for Coach Klein, Williams, and everybody over on that staff. I mean, you're missing, after this season graduation, some of the best that have ever done it in the history of the program. When you start looking up and down the lineup at Owen Sloan, and I think he's got 8 rushing records. If you count the postseason, he's got like 15 total records. Hayden McFadden set pretty much every single standard for a wide receiver that you could have, and some awesome defensive players as well. So for Hillsdale, it's one of those situations where you hate the final result. You thought that you were going to perform better here this season. It's a step up from what you did last year in terms of just the 37-3 total score. However, there's a lot of awesome memories that you're going to be able to take away from these last 2 journeys and competing for WCAL championships, making runs, big wins, state Final Four victories. But it was St. Henry's year, and we saw it pretty early on that you see all these guys out here that have on the numbers 50 and above. They're the real MVP. Werling was awesome, but I think there was a couple of touchdowns that just about anybody really could have been able to take off and get to the corner, because these guys opened up some holes to get to the next level. They're special.
Doug Ute, the executive director of the OHSAA, about to award the state championship trophy to St. Henry, but it just everything bounced the way of St. Henry as well.
It did.
We keep saying that fumble that Owen Sloan had in his hands, but the spin of the ball, unable to take it. He would have taken that back. It would have been 23-10 right before the half, and you never know what could have happened there. The possession down inside the 10-yard line, if they are able to convert that, it's a game. We always say it's a game in inches, but it's a game of plays as well. And only 1 or 2 plays could change the complexion of a game, and Hillsdale was unable to make those plays. St. Henry, they were able to get some bounces, but they were also able to control the pace the whole time.
Yeah, certainly I've talked to a few coaches, and they all kind of share in the same mindset and concept that there will be 4 to 5 plays per game that will either make or break you in a tight situation, and this wasn't one of those games where it was razor thin and one little mistake costs one team or the other. But at the same time, it felt like of those 4 or 5 plays throughout the course of the game that they all kind of broke in the way of the Redskins, and that's why they are going to be breaking out the champagne glasses back home and bringing home gold trophy. First time in a while for them, but a program that's got so much pride. 7 state championships, Travis. I mean, they're up amongst the top teams in the history of the state of Ohio in terms of total titles.
1990, 92, 94, 95, 2004, 2006, and now 2025 to go along with their 96 and 99 state runners-up. The 50th state football championship in the history of the MAC. Need I say more?
We've said it all. They already know what it is, and even though their fans are atrocious online, the teams are always incredibly respectful.
That's true. Yes, they are.
The coaches are
They do
awesome.
it the right way, too.
And
the teams
kids
do it the right way.
Dude, they do it right. It's just their fan bases are obnoxious.
They're
It's
like the
worst.
Ohio State fans.
But at the
Sorry,
same
but
time,
yeah.
Hey, when you got it, you can flaunt it, baby. So I never step in anybody's way. I just shake my head, roll my eyes. But at the same time, you got to be happy for these kids.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, St. Henry. This was a killer team, man.
They were a great team. I mean, they slayed the beast in Marion Local, broke the 76-game winning streak, and they now hoist the trophy. All right, as we welcome you inside the Sloan Concrete post-game show, 37-3 is the final, and this is how these teams got things done, Brian, as we take a look at the final statistics. 17-7 first downs. Kael Lewis had a decent throwing night, 130 pass yards to 50, but it was the rushing game. Hillsdale averaging 217 rush yards per game, only 27. We said in the pregame that St. Henry allowed only 74 rushing yards per game, and we saw why here today. 157 total yards, but 262 on the ground. Nearly 200. It was over 200 for Werling. 213.
Yeah, after he scored that third touchdown, they just decided that they didn't really need his versatility out there in the running attack anymore, so they ended up allowing some other kids to get their hands on the football in the rushing attack. But certainly, I think that the storyline here today, I talked about how great the big dudes were up front, the linebackers, and defensively, the way that they just all moved towards the football. This was the best small school defense that I had the privilege of covering so far here this season. If you can shut Owen Sloan down to 1 yard per carry, that means you've got a special unit and you're doing a lot of things right. And that's exactly what this team was able to accomplish here this afternoon. Hillsdale had not been shut down by anybody in the running attack, with the exception of Marion Local last year over their last 30 games, Travis. So it took these two juggernauts from the MAC to be able to get it done.
Werling is the MVP of the game, as well we figured he would be after what he was able to do. But also, you know, the two Falcon turnovers. Another just tough luck bounce by Owen Sloan, where he just had the ball kicked out from him, and then the interception on just a miscommunication on a route. Here are the final score for you. 37-3. Falcons finished 13-2 state runners up. Next up for St. Henry, they got themselves probably a championship parade back in Mercer County coming up with the 37-3 win.
Certainly got to celebrate this, and I would presume, I know Shelby yesterday, they had a public gathering in the gym after the game. Hillsdale hopefully back in Drumsville here this Saturday afternoon. There's something similar where you really got to encourage these kids when they're at their lowest point, when you get to the last day of the season, regardless of how the day goes. If you're not the one with the gold trophy, your mind is just going to consist. All you can do is think about this game. I guarantee it. That's going to be the case for Hillsdale. Yep. Try to take their minds off of it. Talk about what a great collection of talent they had. What a fun run it's been over the last couple of years. And I know that plenty of these guys are going to be playing basketball. And
we'll have them, yeah.
We're turning the page. We'll have every single Hillsdale home game. So while this game is lost, certainly the memories will live on forever. And I will definitely miss this collection of characters that they had on this team that will be lost to graduation.
Absolutely, and you see some of the seniors, I believe, here for St. Henry getting that gold medal as well. The Falcons, as always, going down to the band for one final fight song, especially with these seniors. As we begin to wrap things up here, Brian, let's just put a bow on this whole season total. Shelby and Hillsdale making it to the final weekend, making it to Canton, but we've had so many great teams play. Got to shout out Big Walnut, Colonel Crawford, the Mount Gilead Indians, what they were able to do this season, Centerburg as well. Just so many great teams. Ashland, Nathan Bernhard going to Maryland, the quarterback they had from there. But we just had a lot of highlights for football this season in North Central Ohio.
By far the biggest, best football season that we've ever had, and numbers don't lie. Thank you guys, the fans out there, for tuning in, for viewing. Our coverage has reached millions and millions already during this fall. You look at just the total viewership, and it just blows me away just how much people are paying attention to high school sports, and we're able to bring this product to people all over the country, internationally too. So we do it for a reason, but when we've got great football to cover, it makes our job so much fun. I get asked all the time, oh man, you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. How do you have the energy? Because these high school athletes keep us young. They keep us in the moment and focusing on these big games throughout the course of the tournament. So certainly we salute each and every team that we get the opportunity to cover. But when you have special teams like this Hillsdale one, it means a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's why it's going to be so hard to say goodbye to these kids. Trevor Klein's going to have the next crop ready for, I think, probably another run at a WCAL championship next year. But this group has certainly earned their way here to Canton. The postseason run, historic, and be proud, Hillsdale. You're bringing back a runner-up trophy. Two teams.
Yeah.
Travis already said it. Two teams get to play here, period. Out of all the teams that are available within Division 7, you were one of them. You guys are awesome.
Yep, that's a great season for them. We'll see what the basketball team can do. District champs last year. I will be on the call for most of those home games for them as well once they get started. Take a couple days off, boys. Go home, watch the High State Indiana game, get ready, get rested, and then back for basketball season as well. But let's get out of here, Mr. Skoronsky, and get focused on Ohio State, Indiana, as you see Trevor Klein and his team heading off the field at Canton's Hall of Fame Stadium.
Bye. Bye, guys.
So the Falcons are running off there as state runners-up, and let's just thank our sponsors one final time here from Hall of Fame Stadium. Sloan Concrete, AMVETS post-1969, Crosby Advisory Group, 89 Homes, Heffelfinger's Meats, Buckeye Horizon, Truly Inspired Paper Company, Stoops Painting, as well as Simonson Construction Services. Thank you all for being a sponsor for the Falcons all season long. But now, also want to thank the OHSA for allowing us to be here. Want to thank Jody Long for allowing us to be at Hillsdale all season as well. But we are going to get out of here. Look for our highlights of all three games here today on the OH Reports coming up here in the next few hours. But that will do it for Brian Skoronsky. I'm Travis Berardi saying so long from Canton, the Hall of Fame City.